Let's inhale and take the arms in front of you. And exhale, soften the knees, slight bend forward. Let the neck soften, bring the arms up and out to the side as you exhale and push the feet to the floor. And again, inhale or exhale. Let's not worry too much about where the breath pattern is. Fold the arms in front, round the upper back a little bit, soften through the knees. And inhale, up and open. This time, exhale. Soften. Let's come back to center, cross the arms in front of you, straighten the legs a little bit and then soften them. Tuck the chin in towards the throat and let's roll. Take a roll down the spine, all the way forward, all the way down. Nice and slow. If you found you're already there, roll up again and roll down again. Nice and slow. Let's take the hands either to the floor or perhaps to a block or just onto the front of the legs. If the hands are comfortable on a block or on the floor, turn the palms upwards. Soften through the shoulders, let the head and neck soften. Make sure the knees are bent a little bit here, or quite a lot. And again, push the feet to the floor. Take the energy down to the feet. Spread those toes. Wiggle them around perhaps a little bit. Good, and let's soften even deeper with the hips. Hands out in front of you, and let's come down onto your mat. Turn the fingertips up towards the top of the mat. Good, and we're just going to start taking the right shoulder, right hip towards each other. Left shoulder, left hip towards each other. Right shoulder, right hip towards each other. And then the left. So find your own pace with this. Find your breath. Maybe an exhale as you turn. And an inhale to center. And an exhale to turn to the other side. But don't get too hung up on where the breath is, as long as there's a definite movement pattern and you're not holding it. Good. Let's bring this back to center. Make sure the hands are under shoulders, knees are under hips. Take the right leg out behind you to press the toes away and gently take a movement forward and back, just making sure you feel grounded between hands and feet. We're going to take the right foot out to the right side and then let's slide it all the way back. So keep the toes on the floor and you can take the head to look at those toes behind you and around to the right side and around behind you. Find the breath pattern again. Moving. And just checking kind of where the balance has gone off on that left hip. So as the bottom kind of pushed right out on the left side, can you draw it back slightly so that you feel a little more contained? And this time take the right leg out to the right side, draw the right knee to right elbow, lift the knee up and out to the side, and start taking a few little circles there. Turning the hip as you go, and again, watch out what's happening on that left side. And if this gets too much for the wrists, come down on the elbows and then around back the other way. Little movement for the hips, good. And bring that back to center. Left leg, take it out to the side. Open to the other side, and then starting to let the head, the chest, move with it. Find the breath pattern. Enjoy the movement, feel the spine working as you do it. Good, bring the knee into the side and 4, maybe 5 circles around with the knee on this side. And again, watch what's happening with that right hip. Enjoy the movement. If it's getting too much for the wrists, take it down to the elbows, or even put the elbows on blocks. Then 4 or 5 round in the other direction. So you're really kind of feeling that movement through the hip socket. And bring the knee back down to the ground.
Good. Come off the wrists, take the backs of the hands to the floor and give them a little move around. Let's wiggle the fingers and come back onto the hands or onto the forearms. Take the right leg out to the side and let the right arm lift up to the sky. Back of the right hand, go feet behind the left. If that head will drop to the floor, let it. Otherwise, why not put the block underneath the head so that it's not hanging anywhere. Taking a couple of these, opening and closing around. So again, see what rotation is there, but also see what extension is there underneath the arm for this last one. When you go, we're going to stay there for a breath. Inhale and exhale here. Again, if the head doesn't get to the floor, perhaps put a block underneath the cushion. And then push up and away, plant the hands, slide that leg back in, take it out to the other side, and open. And again, underneath. Trying not to let the head hang. So taking our time. If you don't keep up with me or you're going faster than me, it's okay. Just notice, find your own rhythm. Let your body dictate the pace today. And just allowing that extension underneath, seeing how that feels. Without forcing, without pushing, without wrenching. Just seeing if that's kind of in you today to want to push a little bit further. Maybe see how it feels to pull back a little bit. And then up. And come back onto all fours. Now I'm going to come and sit on my knees because that's comfortable for me. Alternatively, if you've got a bolster, it can be quite nice to sit on a bolster or come and sit cross-legged on something, even a chair. So coming to sit, let's just start with the wrist. Let's start with the left wrist. That's the non-dominant wrist. Let's give the wrist a bit of a swivel around one direction. And then the other direction. And then bring the elbow into it. So of course the whole arm is going to move, but let's see how the elbow, let's lead it with the elbow. So seeing how that feels. And then let's bring the shoulder, whole arm. If you're okay to let the movement come in, I like to open the knees and take a little bit more movement with the spine. But if that doesn't feel comfortable today, stay seated where you are. So finding a bit of shoulder rotation. Upper back movement. Good, bring that back. Of course, you can take it longer if you want to. Moving the hand around, other side. Then the elbow. Other way. And then bring the whole arm, the whole shoulder. So, it doesn't have to be uniform. It doesn't have to be the same thing. Letting the arm dictate the pace. And obviously, these can be done standing if you're not so happy on the floor, or as I say, on a chair. But enjoying that kind of movement. Maybe you could bring both arms in now. Got one more exercise, one little more movement for the upper back. And let's bring that back to center. Bring the arms out in front of you. Right arm over left. Now try not to squeeze too hard on the elbows. We're just lifting. If the backs of the hands want together or the palms want to come together, that's fine. Otherwise, just keep the arms apart. Just slightly draw the crest of the pelvic bones, the tips of the pelvic bones at the front, up towards the rib cage so that the lower back is stable and it's not wobbling around. We're going to move over to the right. Exhale. And inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale back to center. Undo the arms, catch hold of the elbows. And again, exhale. Keep drawing the pelvic crests up so that the lower back stays stable and we're not hanging out of the hips at all. Good. And then we're going to take right arm on top of shoulder, left arm on top of shoulder. Rotate through the upper back, both directions. So ease through any stiffness, any soreness around the rib cage. It's lovely, lovely movement. This for all those intercostal muscles works well if you're working with your pranayama and your breath work. Let's bring that back to center. We've got another side to do, and then we're done. Elbows together, lift. Let's go to the left side. Exhale, and to center. Engage, remember, through the pelvis, and to center. Good. Let's undo the arms. Same thing, engage, exhale. Inhale to center. Exhale to the other side. And to center. Left arm, right arm. Rotate through the upper thoracic region. So you don't want to be hanging out of the waist here, and if you're engaged through the middle of the body, you actually can't fall forward from the waist, so that's a good thing. It takes away from the lower back. It's a lovely movement to the upper back. Okay, undo. Let the head roll. Drop the chin to the chest and roll the head off to the right, and then center and to the left. And again, right. And to the left. And to center. And take the face to the right. And to center. And the other side. And to center. Thank you for joining me. That's your 10-minute upper back